Again, just answering emails and questions for traders who ask about the high-performance 4-step method to high-performance trading and the 7-step daily routine for high-performance traders. That link is below. Free download. Bulletproof yourself with your daily routines, accelerated learning, mastering your craft, build your confidence, discipline, and a winning mindset to master the markets. Again, that link is below. It's a free download. This week, lots of movement yesterday, all markets. Question: how can you only trade 1 hour a day? What do you do best? So that question came up from a trader, and again, I emphasize focusing on what you do best. You need to know what your edge is, and you need to understand the instruments that you're trading. Know what your best trading setups are. Know that the instruments that you're trading may not give you your best setup in the sessions that you trade. So, for example, if you're just focusing on trading the euro every single session, based on the template, the day, the pattern of the trend, all of those types of situations, you may not get a best trade setup on that one instrument by itself in the session that you're trading. Which is why I talk about having 4 or 5 different instruments, maybe some currencies, a couple of indexes, commodity. Not necessarily that you have to trade all of them, but you're looking for the best setup in that session. So if you're trading the euro, and we had some great trades on the euro this last week, if you're not getting the setup that you have edge with in your session, so for example, you might be trading Asia, then you may be looking at a cross, a euro-yen cross, perhaps in that session as a better best trade setup. So know the instruments that you're trading, but know your setups, because the setups will show up on different instruments in your sessions. Know the timings, the specific timings of your instruments. So currencies sometimes will behave differently at different times of the day as opposed to indexes, specifically the US index or the FTSE, for example. It will specifically react when the London equity markets open at 3 a.m. New York time, or the NASDAQ and the S&P will open at 9:30 a.m. New York time. And gold itself may behave a little bit differently outside of those times in relation to Asia, London, or New York. So again, understand the timings and how your instruments may react or behave at different times throughout the day. You may get a best trade setup early in the US session on a currency and then have a trade setup on an index, giving you 2 great best trade setups in that session. So just understand also that throughout the week, we can have 3, 4, 5-day template cycles that may change the pattern of that instrument throughout the week in your session. So it may go through a choppy day, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday give an explosive best trade setup in your session. So don't try to have an expectation that you're going to get a best trade setup on one instrument every single session that you trade. So then again, on your session, focus on the setups in your session. Don't just focus on one instrument every session. And then understand what your best trade setups are. When you have those, you can have a consistent approach to the market because you follow the same process each week, each session, that you're targeting only the best trade setup. So I tell traders this all the time: take your trade, get off the screen. One of the challenges for traders is that they'll want to trade constantly throughout the day, and in many cases end up giving profits back or taking poor quality setups, getting caught into grinding, choppy markets that aren't going anywhere, sitting at the screen for hours with no real benefit to that. Whereas you can come to the screen at certain sessions, target your best trade setups, and get off the screen. Lock it in, get off the screen. Your confidence can grow because your trade setups are high probability and profitable, and therefore you can grow your trading business. You don't spend a lot of time at the computer nursing bad trades or having analysis paralysis. Just as an example, I don't really trade the New Zealand dollar. Very, very rarely do I ever trade it. But if we were just as an example, a random example, to just be trading in the U.S. session, we could just look at the U.S. session on the New Zealand dollar. We could just scroll through the last couple weeks, and the yellow is the U.S. session. And I'm just painting this purely for demonstration purposes, that if you were just trading this by itself, and New Zealand is not, that volatile of a currency pair. But as we can see, there are still opportunities, not necessarily that each one of these session movements is a best trade setup, but there's still lots of great movement in that session. So obviously there are going to be days when other sessions move better, but this is where you have your basket of instruments, where you may have an index or a different pair giving a best trade setup in the U.S. session on this particular day. But we had obviously other days where we've had some very fantastic movements. And so when you've got a selection of instruments to look for one or two best trades, you don't get fixated on just trading the one instrument all the time and then having an expectation that it should move for you. So again, just allowing yourself to focus on the best setups, targeting those in your session timings, taking the trades, putting your stop in, taking profits, getting off the screen, coming back, and doing it again the next session. And in many cases, this can be done in an hour. And sometimes, you're at the screen for a couple of hours, but the trade itself is over and done with in that hour, and you're done, with your day. So hopefully that provides value, traders. Big week again. We've had some tremendous movement for a Monday, and obviously the week could be setting up for lots of fantastic opportunities. So keep it simple, stay focused, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.